Zeus the Sea Dragon is an animatronic featured in Five Nights at Freddy's Tales from the Pizza Plex number 4 Submechanophobia. If you don't know what submechanophobia is, it is the fear of man-made machines or objects in deep bodies of water. It seems like Zeus the Sea Dragon actually went through 2 redesigns. His first design, which you can see on screen here, is a little bit more friendly and cute. However, his new design, which is featured on the final cover of the book, seems a lot more scary, akin to how he's depicted within the events of Submechanophobia. He is the largest of the animatronics featured in the Mechaquarium, and by far one of the biggest. He features small clawed hands and feet that were attached to his body, wings jutted out from the sides of its reptilian form, and sharp teeth speared out from its huge jaws. It also seems like Zeus might be haunted, or at least have some form of sentience, as he's able to still function even without power being on in the Mechaquarium, seen when he begins to hunt Caden through the Mechaquarium while he's doing some maintenance work on one of the broken animatronic sharks in the attraction. Slowly but surely making its way over to Caden. Caden realizes this, but tries to focus on the task at hand. However, his fear gets the better of him, and the animatronic sea dragon appears to be getting closer and closer to him, until finally pinning him against the glass of the Mechaquarium. The two lock eyes, and Caden is in immense terror. He realizes that the dragon, with its mouth poised as if ready to bear down on him, appears to have something lodged in between its jaws. He pulls out the object, which is revealed to be a small shoe. He then, shortly after, leaves the exhibit, and it does not appear like Zeus follows him. Caden then takes the shoe away from Freddy's Fantasy Water Park and begins to ponder the many reasons as to how the shoe could have gotten in the enclosed Mechaquarium, and let alone inside the jaws of an animatronic dragon. A few days later, during one of his shifts, his co-worker Roy had informed Caden that one of the sea serpents named Polo had actually broken down, and he found out that Polo had actually trapped itself in between 2 rocks on the ocean floor of the Mechaquarium. After fixing the problem and resetting Polo, Polo suddenly sprang to life and began to violently rock around inside the tank. It moved so erratically and violently that it actually smashed against one of the rocks, causing a rock to float down towards Caden. Caden originally thought this was a rock, but it turned out that this was not a rock, and in fact a bone that would later turn out to be a human finger bone. After stumbling across a couple of newspaper articles in his grandmother's house, he finds a particular article talking about a boy that went missing, and it is supposedly tied to the Fantasy Water Park. And the boy's name happens to be Jason Butterfield, and the day he went missing, he was wearing white tennis shoes, similar to the shoe that he found lodged in between the jaws of Zeus. Surprisingly enough, after a while, he decides to actually go into the tank voluntarily to search for more evidence in regards to the disappearance of Jason Butterfield. And he goes to the area where he found Polo when he was broken down, and notices that there is actually a human skull nestled in behind some rocks, and this freaks him out. However, he's not able to dwell on it too much because Frank, the animatronic scuba diver, begins to come for him, and I mean literally come for him. This thing is described as moving very erratically and human-like, and this thing begins to grab him and pull him down into the water, choking him out and everything. And all while this is happening, the tarp is beginning to cover the tank until finally Caden is trapped inside the mech aquarium with Frank the scuba diver. And after quite a bit of struggling, Caden actually manages to get Frank off of him and even manages to pry off Frank's helmet, revealing that Frank is actually his boss, Martin. And Martin is very much attempting to murder him. The other animatronics were now facing towards Martin and Caden, their unblinking eyes watching every movement that was made. Zeus was also making its way over to Martin and Caden. He wrapped his long tail around Martin's leg, and Martin attempted to kick at Zeus and free his leg, but was unsuccessful. Zeus quickly wrenched Martin away from Caden and began to maul him. The other animatronics suddenly became active and also joined in on the mauling, until eventually Martin stopped moving and the animatronics lost interest and swam away. Surprisingly enough, Zeus and even the other aquatic animatronics don't want to hurt Caden. In fact, they even seem to protect Caden when he is being attacked by his boss, Martin, and even kill Martin in the process. So it seems like these animatronics are benevolent. The animatronics also appear to be intelligent enough that they were able to show Caden where the remains of Jason Butterfield's body were inside of the mech aquarium. Almost as if they wanted his story to be told and to reveal the twisted secrets behind Caden's boss, Martin. Now, something that isn't outright explained is how Jason actually died. I mean, there's never a concrete explanation to it, and the story just kind of glazes over it. The only logical explanation, given what is revealed, is that after his parents took him to the Freddy Fantasy Water Park, he snuck out in the middle of the night, went back to the park, snuck into the mech aquarium to probably get a closer look at some of the animatronics, got trapped in there, and died. However, we don't know for sure, this is just a theory, but it's the most likely. And obviously Martin tried to cover it up to protect his business. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at this, it seems like Zeus and the rest of the aquatic animatronics aren't going to be going anywhere because Caden's co-worker Roy just bought Freddy's Fantasy Water Park and has big plans for it, planning to clean up the animatronics, clean up the mech aquarium, make sure everything's in tip-top shape, and reinvigorate the brand. So who knows, maybe we could see Zeus and the other aquatic animatronics in a future Tales from the Pizza Plex story. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.